So last week the real Julia Gillard, or at least the latest version of the real Julia Gillard, stood up and gave it out. She was feisty, she was tough, she was annoyed, she'd had enough and she wasn't going to take it anymore. It, of course, being the relentless campaign waged by the News Limited papers in particular, headed by the Australian, and drawn from scurrilous sources on the internet, what Julia Gillard herself described as nutcases and misogynists. The subject, well, if you haven't caught up with it by now, it's because you're sensible enough not to be interested, but basically it concerns the dealings that went on in the lawyer firm Slater and Gordon, where she worked 17 years ago, and which led indirectly to her resignation. It also includes an unfortunate liaison with an ex-boyfriend, and yet again union shenanigans, all of which she was totally innocent of, as she says herself, as the senior partner in the law firm agrees, and as any reasonable person would conclude. But of course she wasn't dealing with reasonable people. She was dealing with the forces of the Australian, which over the last few weeks has used acres of news pages, several front page leads, and at least 3 editorials to excoriate her over the deal. So, what can she do about it? Well, she hopes that an hour-long stand-up press conference, no holds barred, answering everything that was thrown at her, will put it away. But at least as far as News Limited's concerned, as she says, there's no way of shutting up the nutters on the net. But given News Limited's vendetta against her government in general, and her in particular, I think that's wishful thinking. It may calm them down for a few days, but they'll still be raking through the piles of muck, the gutters and the garbage to try and find something, anything, they can beat up into a story against her. And don't think they're not trying even as we speak. Gillard's on the rise at the moment, it must be said. The polls show that the slide is over, at least for the moment. The carbon tax seems to be settling down, and the economy, of course, is still looking a picture, in spite of Martin Ferguson's doom-strewn mumblings about the boom being over. But none of this helps if the personal attacks continue and the personal attacks monopolise the headlines. Even the Fairfax press, which sensibly, logically and ethically kept out of it for several days, was eventually drawn in and advised her to front up, hold the press conference. Not because it thought she was guilty, but because it was the only way to shut the bastards up. Whether it works or not, only time will tell. But the bastards are bastards. And I'm Mungo MacCallum.
That's for you.